Hi folks, welcome again to the show. The south of Spain is famous for its sherry, but there are also one or two other goodies on offer. Ever heard of Barbazul? No, me neither. Coming right up. Hi guys, welcome to yet another edition of Big on Wine, the show that brings you news, clues and reviews about, yes, everything in the world of wine. And my wine of the week for this week is an unusual one, and it's this one here. It goes by the simple name of Barbazul. 2016 is the vintage, and the price of this wine where I am is just under €15 a bottle. Okay, so this is a new kid on the block here. Let's tell you about this. This wine, Barbazul, is indeed from the deep south of Spain and is officially designated Vino de la Tierra de Cádiz. And of course, as we should know, the city of Cádiz is in Andalusia. It's on the western side, the Atlantic side of Gibraltar. And of course, in this particular area of Spain, that's where they make all that wonderful sherry. Okay? Now, this is officially Vino de la Tierra de Cádiz, and that is one peg below the DO classification, the Denominación de Origen, on the Spanish wine scale, and the appellation acquired its status in 2005. So this is a fairly modest wine in terms of its roots here. This is a blend of several varieties, and the varieties are the Cabernet Sauvignon, the Merlot and the Syrah. Okay, so three very, very international varieties with French roots, but also one little fourth number involved, and that one is the Tintilla de Rota. Now this is an indigenous grape variety to the south of Spain there. It's a low-yielding grape variety grown in the Cádiz region and normally used for the production of fortified wine. Now notice, not for sherry, but for another type of fortified wine. So this is a red grape, of course. Okay, so we have a blend here of three big varieties and one local indigenous variety. Let's have a sniff of this wine and see what we get. Now, this is an interesting one. That's very, 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 very different to anything that I've tasted or sampled recently. Interesting. In the nose, I'm getting a kind of a sweetness reminiscent maybe of blackberry, but the berries are firmly under the overlay of something much more toasty, spicy, leathery in nature. So it has a spicy, leathery nose to this wine here. Very interesting indeed. Okay, let's try it in the mouth and see whether what we noticed in the nose, whether it carries over. In terms of colour, of course, this is, as we can see, extremely dense. It's a dark red, touch of purple in there in colour. Very dense indeed, very heavy. All right, let's try it in the mouth and see how we get on. Okay. Now that is unusual. And I think it's our little friend, the Tintilla de Rota, which is making the difference here. This is full-bodied red wine, medium to strong tannins. So it's fairly tannic in the mouth, not unpleasantly so. Medium tannins maybe. Very, very spicy, leathery in the palate as well. Let's have a little taste. Yeah, fruity, spicy, and the taste or the aroma of blackberry, which was the first thing in the nose, has rather given way to sour cherry. But the sour cherry is also complemented by a certain unusual spicy sweetness as well. Now, this isn't a sweet wine at all, but there is just in the back of the mouth there that little touch of sweetness apparent. So this is a young wine, naturally, 2016 vintage. Young, jammy, earthy, sweetish, in brackets, and berry heavy. Nice sour cherry to it, very delicious. And in the finish, warm, warms you up. Almost has the same characteristics that you would get from a mulled wine. So it's obviously the spiciness in the wine which is generating that feeling of warmth and well-being with this wine. Very, very unusual. Haven't tasted anything like that before. Okay, now, this puts us in a quandary, doesn't it? What are we going to be eating with our Barbazul here? Well, I think, you know, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I would say this is going to be extremely good with something like duck or maybe pheasant, so a kind of a game bird. But, you know, this would also go extremely well with something kind of highly traditionally Spanish, so a roast leg of lamb, for example, a wonderful cut of lamb would also be extremely good with this wine, I think. And as it's got medium tannins, it has just that little touch of sweetness. You know, you can even drink it just as an aperitif as well. You don't, in fact, need food with this wine. So a good all-rounder, a very unusual wine, this one. All right. Serving temperature is going to be around the 17 to 18 degree mark, I think. Let's bring you the heads up on this one. We're talking Barbazul, coming in for under €15 a bottle where I am. This is a relatively modest wine in terms of its origins, from the extreme south of Spain, from the Atlantic coast of Spain, down in the south, near the city of Cádiz. A relatively unknown area for red wines. Sweet, spicy, leathery notes, lots of sour cherry. I'm going to give this wine 4 stars out of 5. Okay guys, many thanks for taking the time to check out this week's video and the little introduction to an unusual wine, one I haven't come across before. Barbazul, vintage 2016. From the Cádiz area of southern Spain. Lovely. Okay, if you've enjoyed what you've seen and heard, then please do feel free to give us that big thumbs up. Drop a comment down below, why don't you? We're always extremely grateful to receive your comments. Share the video around naturally, and of course follow me on all my other social media platforms. And hey, if you haven't done so already, you can always subscribe by hitting that big red button somewhere up there behind me. I'll be back again next week with another great wine of the week for you. But until we meet again, this is Tony Melver signing off and saying, hey, take care out there, be good to each other, enjoy your wines, and cheers.